opening up my NYU decision. Alright, what's up? My name is Asa Fletcher. I'm a senior here in California, and this is my 2024 college decision reaction video. So yeah, I know a lot of you out there watching are probably wondering what stats I had academic-wise when applying to schools. And so yeah, for my GPA, I had a 4.43 weighted, and that was based on a 5.0 scale, and then 4.0 based on a 4.0 scale, which means I hadn't gotten a B or lower in grades since 6th grade. I'll throw up my classes up on the screen so you're able to take a look at what I got. But honestly, I didn't really take too many hard classes or have one year that was way overloading the others. It's just a matter of taking some classes in there that were a little harder, whether it was a couple APs or not. So yeah, obviously grades and test scores aren't everything. I didn't personally take the ACT or the SAT and have only taken one AP test, in which I haven't heard back from as far as what I got grade-wise. That was for government this year. I focused the majority of my application on the extracurriculars that I was doing, including running multiple businesses, the athletics I was doing, and even talked about a bit of what it was like to move across the country alone for senior year of high school. So yeah, obviously as you enter high school, college is the one thing that's really talked about, even as you're a freshman. And for me, I really didn't take that to heart and really start looking at it till it was the first semester of my senior year. If I'm honest, I don't think I'm really the type to go to school. I'd much rather be out of the classroom making money and working on different things than to be learning. But I do see value in learning. And obviously, having been dealt the cards I have, I think the next 4 years would be the smart move as far as attending a college. All right, so it is November 17th. Logged into Common App now, just starting my application for a couple schools here. Yeah, I don't really know where to start, but I do know I have a lot of work on my hands, so probably going to be like this for the next couple months, and yeah, we'll see where we end up getting into. So yeah, extracurriculars and academics aren't everything. I would argue most schools are looking at the impact that you'll make after you graduate. And so for me, I really used that and the impact that I wanted to have after graduation to be able to kind of tell my story when applying. Neither of my parents have a traditional story of going to college from where they graduated high school and went straight to a four-year university. My dad joined the military because he couldn't afford school and so was able to get it paid through the GI Bill. And then my mom worked really hard to get into a community college while saving up and working throughout community college to be able to then transfer to a four-year school. So yeah, here my parents are now, both having master's degrees, with my mom actually just having graduated with her master's in psychology. And so yeah, obviously being raised in a household that values education but didn't do it the traditional way, I knew that college was probably going to be on the horizon. But I just didn't know exactly where to because I hadn't been raised in a house that had gone to a big prestigious four-year university or whatever that may have looked like. Growing up, it was always just an emphasis on doing your best, and if the letter grade matched that, of which doing your best was, then that was okay, but really getting a B wasn't the end of the world if that's really where the effort was. So yeah, that's kind of just a little story on where I'm coming from an educational and academic standpoint. And so yeah, this is kind of the story on how I ended up deciding where I wanted to go. Alright, we are here working on college scholarships and essays. Right now I'm working on one for the US military, trying to make as much money in scholarships as I can. So. The thing about high school athletics is that if you really put in a lot of time and are able to excel in that one sport, or in my case, the two different sports of running with cross country and track, it can really help into getting into a top institution. And so for me, this was the case. So by the time it came to applying to schools this past fall, I knew that my athletic ability was going to be the goal in trying to get my school paid for. Again, not having parents who went to big formal institutions, this idea of college seemed very daunting, and I didn't really know where to start. By the end of my junior year, I was still in Virginia and knew that I wanted to change as far as schools and just places of living. I knew that I would always wanted to take foreign exchange, and so I decided to move across the country alone to high school in California. So yeah, it was now early November when I started sending out emails to coaches whose programs I thought would interest me from an academic as well as athletic standpoint. But yeah, that led me to sending out emails to Pomona Pitzer, Claremont McKenna, UCSD, Virginia Tech, Cornell, and NYU. After going on a visit to both Cornell and Virginia Tech, I just didn't see myself really fitting into the school very well. But having gone to New York City as a kid and some through my teenage years, I knew that New York City would probably be a really good fit for me. And so that's when I started emailing back and forth with Coach Shipley, the head coach of NYU's cross country and track team. We had 4 phone calls together before really deciding that that was where I wanted to spend my 4 years of college. And by the end of those 4 phone calls, I really had NYU as my top choice for where I wanted to go to school. At almost any institution, after talking about grades, athletics, extracurriculars, whatever that may be, the coach is able to send a likely letter in, which basically guarantees admission. Now, this is obviously after the admissions team has looked over your entire application, giving you the green light to submit. So yeah, then it was just a matter of time on waiting to hear back from NYU to see if I got in and what my financial aid would look like. Just submitted my SAR, self-reported academic record. Oh yeah. Opening up my NYU decision. I got it! Alright, opening up financial aid. 3. So yeah, after everything was said and done, I only applied to one school, and that school was NYU, which is where I'll be going for the next 4 years in New York City. So yeah, I couldn't be more excited than to head to possibly one of the greatest cities in the country. Again, this probably wasn't a typical admissions video where I would apply to 20 plus schools, including the Ivies, the top 20s, Safeties, etc. I really found that NYU was the best fit, and I just didn't see a point in really applying to any other schools. Had I been rejected from NYU, I don't know where I would really see myself. Maybe that would have led to a gap year. So, all right, it is now March 4th. I got an email regarding my admission to NYU, whether I should accept or decline. As far as just applying EDII, NYU is like one of the only schools that has binding all the way through for every decision. Yeah, so basically getting in, you have to accept or deny and then make a payment for housing, and it kind of just secures your spot with the school. So that's what I'm getting ready to do now. Just basically giving me all the information for what I got into, that I'll be a freshman, first year, living in New York City, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, getting ready to accept that now, make the payment, and yeah, we're into the school. So, yeah, this is kind of a wrap on the chapter of high school as far as what it looks like to get into college. All right, it is now May 18th, and yeah, logged into my NYU applicant portal here. Just finished submitting all my immunization records as well as everything for the checklist that I had to do before registering for my classes this summer, which is about in a month. June 10th, I believe, is when we can start registering. Just checking my email every couple of days, making sure I'm staying caught up on what I have to do. But yeah, just mostly getting excited for college. So thanks for watching, and if you want to follow along, I'll be dropping more day in the life vlogs while in college as well as finishing out high school here in California.